big-footed girls.
Those big-footed girls.
When you say it like that, it's so nice. But when I say it, I'm like big-footed girls. Doesn't sound good.
I'm 5'8".
This is not gonna.
Okay. Laura,
Yeah.
sit there and I'll work out something like that. They do. But I'm telling you, every time I found a pair of boots that I like in this country in the shop, I
can sit there, no problem. But you'll figure out how to do this.
And then I just had it and it fell down.
You have to put it down here. You try putting it down here. Here, give me. Again,
I'm actually going to the mall and see if any of the 24/7s in the malls have them left.
Okay, good.
But I doubt it, but they're really nice.
Alright, we're gonna start. We're dedicating tonight's class. If you can clean it up, clean it up.
Nice chair.
1 second. Oh, that's on a cord.
Alright, we're gonna talk. We're gonna start. We're dedicating today's class to all the sick people. And many of them. The whole country almost. And then.
Is that good? Is that okay for you?
If it would be just a little, like, not leaning. Yeah,
It's free.
Yes, much better. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you everyone for coming. So nice. I guess this is a hot topic. I didn't realize Shvat was such a hot topic. The reason I chose it is because it's my birthday and it's been forever. Thank you. Wait, it's not yet. I'm not there yet. Not yet. We got another week and a half. Next week. At this stage, you like hold on to your days. Wait, it's not the next number yet. So I started doing a lot of research on Shvat and got some good stuff. Okay. So we know that, first of all, months in general, months are anything that's attached to time has energy attached to it. Okay? Rule of thumb, anything attached to time has energy attached to it. So when a person gets married, it's Yom Kippur for them. Because it's their day, it's their time, and that's the energy that comes into it's for them, it's Yom Kippur. It's nothing less than Yom Kippur. Because there's that time for them, and that's their Eis Ratzon, okay? That's their time of their wedding day. Anytime a person gets married.
Every year on their anniversary, or just the wedding day?
No, just the wedding day itself. Because that's the way that it happens for them. Right? They get a new neshama. There's a whole thing that happens for them. Anything that's attached to time has an energy. Yamim Tovim, if you want to be able to be matzliach to get out of certain things that are really, really difficult for you, like addictions, which month do you do that on? Which month do you have a lot more extra siyat d'shmaya on?
Hello.
No? Nisan. Because anything that has to do with coming out of slavery, coming out of bondage, coming out of addiction, that requires that energy. The energy of, that's why they came out during Nisan. Not because they came out during Nisan, so we celebrate Nisan. No, they came out on Nisan because of the energy of the time. That's the month that they were able to bust out, okay, because of that energy. So every month has an energy. Every day has an energy. Every hour has an energy. Now, the more time is considered spiritual, for example, it has a Yom Tov attached to it, or a specific, something is happening during that time, for example. Again, God forbid you get into an accident of some kind, right? Anytime you drive past that place, what do you say? Right? You always have to say that because from now on, that place is marked for you. Because something with your soul in that place, a miracle happened there for you. It's not it's not the same place that it is for me. Meaning every one of us, we're souls, and our experience here is marked by the experiences of our lives. Every single one of us, every single Jew, his entire life is written in the Torah. From who they're going to marry and how many kids they're going to have and where they're going to live and what they're going to do. Every single one of our lives is written in the Torah. Meaning all of our experiences and our moments and our time is hugely vital. The reason that we feel like, every day is like another same kind of Groundhog Day. Life is just life. What's going to be different this time? So we learn about Shvat, and then we learn about Adar, and then we do Yeh, Pesach, and then the big ones come, like Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and everyone says, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, they're the biggest times, and you could change so much during these things, and during this time, and then another one goes by, and 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 another one goes by, another year goes by, another year. It doesn't feel like anything so bombastic. It more feels like there's a lot of hype around it. Like, this month's energy, and then you could do this, and then it's just like a regular month. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is like this. That kind of thinking is what is the biggest Yetzirah, in essence?
That you don't mean anything. Like, חוסר ביטחון, like, low self-esteem.
Low self-esteem is a, okay.
You think?
What's I think that's something that all human beings suffer from. I'm challenging you a little bit. Yush, okay. Yush comes from, stagnation comes from,
Despair.
despair comes from,
The lack of faith.
comes from.
Oh.
They're all coming from the same
Lack
thing.
of hope.
What?
Lack of hope.
Where does that come from?
The ground. Afar.
Where's all these experiences that you're experiencing? Depression, sadness, stuckness, yish, all these things, lack of hope,
Boredom?
boredom. Good. Where does boredom come from?
Like, are you trying to get at like routine or meaninglessness?
Good. Good. Give it more. She's loving this. A moment in the spot. We'll give you another moment. The routine. Just think routine in your head, or habit, or day to day, or mundane. That is a human being's. That's the you know. In Hebrew, you say makel bagalgalim. You want to put someone on makel bagalgalim. You want to get someone to fall down on their face. That's one of the biggest makel bagalgalim. When a person feels that every single day is kind of like the same thing for them, and there's no change, and there's no big wow things happening, and there are no big mazel tovs coming. And there's no big, like, anything, really. And my life is just kind of like my life. Okay? So I start to become a non-believer. I start to become a non-believer in hopes and dreams and change and big things happening in my life. I start to become a non-believer and getting settled and having inner peace and finding my calm. I start to become a non-believer and having real deep relationships and a real connection for someone that really understands me and know me. Because I'm so in my day to day, and every day is kind of like the same kind of day, or kind of like the same kind of thing, and my life is like kind of the same thing, that I'm already expecting not to be surprised by life. I'm already expecting not to be wowed by life. I'm expecting it. I'm expecting my life to be my life, and all these cute speakers and motivational speakers, they're all annoying. Alright? Just a next step for me. I told her Shane yesterday, I was like, if I have to hear myself speak one more time, I'm going to shoot myself. It happens sometimes. Sometimes it's like, I can't hear her talk. Sometimes like, I sign language to my kids. I just don't want to hear myself talk. It hurts me. But anyway, so, right? So then you have this experience as a human being. Exactly. This what? Complacency, or a feeling of complacency, a feeling of the sameness all the time. So here's the thing. Rabbi Nachman says like this. Don't ever, I love Rabbi Nachman. He's so cool. Don't ever become a zaken. Don't ever become a skena in your toda'ah. Never, ever get old, even when we're partying in the nursing home. And I'll meet you there. We'll hang. We'll have an awesome time. Even there, don't get old in your toda'ah. Don't become a skena. Some people are 20 years old and 30 years old and they have no energy. And they're bummed out. And this would hurt them and that would hurt them. Life is so difficult. Or I don't know. I have to take a vacation, or I have to do something, and I have to really figure it out and sleep on it for 4 or 5 months. Okay? That's an energy of stagnation. So human beings, us, okay, the way it works is that if we feel stagnating, if we feel like we're stagnating, if we feel like we're complacent, if we feel in that place, feeling in that place, even if you're not, you could be doing different things every single day, but if you feel tku'ah, stuck in your life, you have to understand that you have just sold your soul in a way to, you have something playing over here in the background, the subconscious, that you're believing, you're buying into. You're believing. This is going to stay like this forever. It's always been like this. I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to find a guy. I'm not relationship material. I don't know how to be a really, good enough mom to give them healthy whatever they need because I'm so screwed up. Right? Well, I'm
No,
I'm
no
on my own.
pressure.
I'm on my own here. Alright, it's okay.
I'm
This
seeing
is
you
the-
with your kids. Nice try.
No,
I'm sure if I was a mum, I'd feel like that, but
Yeah.
I'm not yet. So you're on your own right now.
Right now, it's okay.
Nice try.
Thank you. Yeah, because you know you're always wanting to do so much for your children, and then there's someone that's just going to tell you, oh, you don't do that with them. I had that today. Okay, I came to this teacher. I was speaking to him, and he says to me, I said, I do everything with my kids. I do everything with my kids. You know, single mom. I do everything with my kids. I just can't get on the floor and play with them. I don't do that. Can't get on the floor and play with them.
How old are they?
9 and 11.
Why do you need to get on the floor? And
Whatever. I can't play with them. I can't ever play. No one played with me when I was a kid. I don't do board games. I don't do sheshbesh. I don't do shachmat. I don't do any of these things. All right? We talk. We hug. We kiss. We wrestle. I don't play. I don't do
That's more
Legos.
than a lot of kids get.
Right?
A lot more.
Did you ever get any of this when you were
No.
little? Never.
Yeah.
So this guy looks at me, this teacher, and he goes, no, I'm serious. His eyeballs got so big. The whole thing was huge. And he goes like, you don't play with them? Not even for 15 minutes a day? I'm like, not even for 5.
Judgment in his voice.
So he said that maybe that's why you're having problems with your children. I said, do you have any other answer for me? Because I just don't do that. I was never one of these moms that went to the park. I would take them to the park and I would hang out with my friends. I wouldn't get I go on the slides. I can't. It's against my grain. I don't do that. I do a lot of things that other moms do, but this is one thing I can't do. I accept myself. It's what I am. It's what I am. So, so that's the thing. Why did I get to this? How did I get to him? That he did what?
Disapproval.
Just because of disapproval.
When things become mundane.
When people go
Stagnant.
The voices that we listen to that get
What's
us
the
into
one
this
thing you
stagnation.
suffer from?
Yofi.
Ah, I told you
I
she's
like
like
that
that.
voice over
Yes, she
there.
is. The only person that's not EDD in the room. So, because all that tea you drink. So, the thing is like this. So, we're going to get into for a second Mazal. Okay? We're going to get into the Mazal Shvat. Why are we talking about Mazal Shvat? Few things. Number one, it's the Mazal that we're in right now. Number two, every single Chodesh has, and Chodesh comes from the Lashon of Itchachut, newness. There's a newness, and every single month there's a newness, and every single day. Rabbi Nachman says you can start over 100 times a day. Just start over 100 times a day. Just start over. You spoke Lashon Hara, stop, yeah, continue. You did this, you messed up with your mom, next. Start over 100 times a day, 1,000 times a day if you need to. There's none of this like, oh man, I screwed up, I don't know how to do this, yada, I throw in the towel and I go to bed and I'm bummed out and I hate my life and I hate myself and I hate everything. Okay? That's Eitz Hara. Eitz Hara wants us to fail and then throw in the towel. The Eitz Hara wants us to feel like every single day is the same kind of thing. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have a house of my own. I'm never going to find a really good job. I'm never going to... He wants us to be in that space. Okay? He wants us to be in that kind of place because if I were to believe every minute, every moment, Shvat Hashem can find anything happen any minute. No minute is identical to a minute that has ever existed on planet Earth ever. Okay, no minute has ever been here before. This minute that we're in right now has never lived here before, has never been here before. This is a new minute in time that's never been. Every minute has its own energy. Every minute has its own potential. Every minute has its own mazel. If I live like that, if I understand that, then, okay, so I failed 3 hours ago. It doesn't mean I'm going to fail now. Okay? It means that I was in a bad mood 3 hours ago. I yelled at someone, or I did something I shouldn't have done, or I overate, or I was self-destructive, or I was other person destructive, or whatever it is. But Rabbi Nachman says, you gotta get up. You gotta get up because every moment is different from the next. So now we're in Chodesh Shvat. So Chodesh Shvat in and of itself is Chadash, Chodesh, Chadash, Itchachut, right? But Shvat is the first month of the winter months that is all about the spring coming in. That's why we have Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat in essence, what's Tu B'Shvat? Tu B'Shvat where we don't see it yet. We don't see it yet, but it's happening. Meaning, it's all coming out now. It's all coming out now. All the trees are starting to blossom. The fruits are already filling the tree. Everything, all the disintegration of the seed happened. Everything is done. It's behind us. It's the winter. The rain came. The rain was there. It's all done. Okay, and this is all symbolic because of the time. It all has to do with the time. Nothing happens during a certain time if the time itself is not misugal for that thing. Meaning all the Shvat stands for growth, for newness. Shvat stands for Shkidia Porachat, right, which is the first budding of the spring. Shvat stands for all the stuff that happened in the winter that you couldn't see, all the growth, all the night after night of the dark light, Leilot Teves, and all the Hanukkah nights, and all those winter nights, right, or all that stuff, all the growing that you did. All the day in, day out, where there aren't any surprises, and there aren't any big moments, and there aren't any wows, okay? It's the day in, day out, Shvat time, the energy of Shvat is when everything starts to bud. So expect in your life right now new things to come forth for you, okay? And expect new things, the stuff that you've been working on all winter, the stuff that's been on your mind a lot, stuff that's been cooking in the back of your mind, all the stuff that you want, that you're planning, that you're not sure of, all that stuff. Now is the energy of motion upwards. Motion upwards, coming out, sprouting. Tu B'Shvat is the highlight of that. Tu B'Shvat is a very, very high day according to the Zohar. We're not going to get into Tu B'Shvat, but Tu B'Shvat is a very, very high day according to the Zohar. It's a day that's misugal for Shidduchim. It's also a day that's all about, Shidduchim, Achdut, coming together, oneness. That's what Tu B'Shvat is about. It's all about the perot. The perot is in essence the fruit of your labor. Okay? When do we get bummed out? We get bummed out when we do, and there's no fruit. Okay? When I'm trying. That's when we feel spent. That's when we feel like we have no energy. That's when we feel like, it's getting tight in here. Okay? I want to seek success. I want to taste it. Shvat is the time. Shvat is the time. Now we have to remember, everything is dependent on your intention. Everything. Your entire reality is dependent on your intention. Halacha is dependent on the intention. If you have the intention while you're making a borei pri etz, you have an intention that I'm making a borei pri etz right now, and it's going to include all the etzim that are going to come into my whatever for the next hour. Okay, any other eitz in the house. Okay, then it covers all the other. You don't have to make another eitz. But if you made a eitz and you didn't think of anything, you just made a bracha and you stuck it into your mouth. Then you want to make another eitz. All of a sudden you want an apple, right? So now you have to think. Did I have it in mind? Did I not have it in mind? Oh, I didn't have it in mind. So if I didn't have it in mind, am I a guest? If I'm a guest, then the halacha is different than if I'm home. Meaning everything is now dependent on, it's all a ripple effect based on the intention that I had. If a person is has the intention to be yotze with you when you light your candles, it's as if they lit candles. Okay? So everything has to do with intention. When you have children, right? When they teach this to you in the Chassan Kal classes. When you have children, the intention that you have when you're intimate with your husband is going to totally decide which neshama you're pulling down. Which neshama, from which area, tachas mitzkisei hakavod, you're pulling down. There's a lot of stuff connected to our koach hamachshava, and our mind, and our intention, and our kavanah. So, Chodesh Shvat, because of the energy. The energy is of growth. The energy is of up. The energy is of newness. Okay, the energy is, and also this is when Moshe Rabbeinu gives over to Klal Yisrael Sefer Devarim, and he finishes telling them the whole Torah Kula. This is when the Klal Yisrael leave. They leave the whole Midbar scenario, and they move into Eretz Yisrael. That happened Rosh Chodesh Shvat. Okay, meaning we ended a certain parak in our lives right now. We ended a certain chapter during the winter months, and this is a winter month, but it's the beginning of a spring. Okay, and that's all symbolic of what's going on right now for us energetically. Okay, energetically. So, the mazel of the month is dli. Dli is a bucket. A bucket's koach is to lishov, is to
Carry.
to
Carry.
to carry, but a bucket's koach is really not to carry, but to be filled. Lishov. How do you say lishov? To pull in. What?
From a well.
Lishov. It's like a Hoover, you know, like a
Suck up.
suck up. What's that?
Drag also? Draw.
Yeah, like to fill up. Like I just keep thinking about it back later, like that. But that is the energy. That's the koach of adli. Okay, we're in this energy. This energy is all around us. This is the energy that we're swimming in right now. So if in my mind I'm aware of it, you're gonna start seeing it. You're gonna start seeing it happening for you in your life. If you're not, if you're like totally blind, you don't know what's going on energetically, spiritually, it's very hard to pick up on these things. Okay, but once you know about it, you'll see it happening in your life, and you'll see it coming into your life. Now, what's the koch of Dli? Dli is like this. So people that are, so this month is Aquarius. According to Chazal, Klal Yisrael's mazel, the whole mazel of the entire Jewish people is Mazal Dli. Okay, that's the mazal of the Jewish people. We all have a collective mazel, and that's this month mazel. Why is it? Mazal Dli are very, very smart. They're very intelligent people. They're always looking to learn more, to know more. That's the Aquarius. They're always looking to be in some kind of a conversation, some kind of intellectual conversation. They have a thing with food. Okay, it's a big tikkun of ochel.
That's so us.
They have a thing with food. They appreciate food. They like food, or even if they don't necessarily have a thing with food, they appreciate good food. They like good food. They have a tikkun with ochel. There's a lot of tikkunim that have to do with people that are Aquarius with food. Okay, there's a lot of tikkun that they have to do with food. Either they have some kind of eating disorder or eating issue, or they just really appreciate food, or they have something with ochel. Okay, they have something going on with ochel. Now, you know a person. This is written something in the Gemara that you know a person by the way they eat. Right? There was like a big tzaddikim in the olden days that they wanted to know who a person really is, his midos. They looked at him while he was eating, right? It says a lot about a person when they eat. Okay, how they eat, when they eat, and what capacity they eat. Okay, it says a lot about the person when they eat, because there's a lot of tikkunim that have to do with food. That's why there's this whole concept of a tish, and there's all this stuff that has to do with food. When a person eats in a way that they're eating the sova nafsho, and not the sova bitno, and not to just fill up their stomach. There's a whole different thing happens to them energetically and spiritually when they eat that way, as opposed to just like eating because it's tasty and it's good. Okay, so that's just a side point about food. Okay, Israel al yedei ma'asim b'Torah hofchim et mazalam. Now we know that Israel doesn't have mazel, right? The Jewish people don't have mazel. Mazel is not doesn't touch the Jewish people. Is that true or not true?
It's not true.
Not true.
I mean, we have mazal, but we can go above it. We can transcend it.
Really? You think we have luck? Jewish people?
Well, not luck. I wouldn't translate it as luck.
You're talking about mazal like luck or like star signs?
Star signs, kochavim. So it says Israel ma'al kochavim. Okay, Israel ma'al mazal. Mazal לא שולט בישראל. Is that true or not true?
It goes both ways.
And what?
We have hashpa'ah, like when we're born and everything. There's a hashpa'ah about that. But we also, the mitzvahs we do, the way we work on ourselves also could go above. So I think it's in the middle in a way. It could go either way.
יופי. Beautiful. Anyone have anything to add?
אין משהו בעולם שיהודי לא יכול לעשות. זאת אומרת, like,
English.
if it's your mother, then, like, I'm telling you, this is you. But for us, it's not like this is us. It's like, this is me, but I can change. This is me, but I can go out of it.
Yofi.
If I want to work, it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. So like everything,
What do you
Israel is nishlat or sholet. You always have a choice to either be nishlat or sholet. To either be controlled or to be in control. Controlled or in control. Controlled or in control. You could be mushpah from the mazal and also not mushpah from the mazal. Okay? You could be this and this. Which means what? We all have a star sign. We all fall into the category of our star sign. We all see ourselves in our sign. We all see how it's very much like that. Okay, now, a person, this is like the biggest thing for us, okay? Because why? It says, who says? It's the Zohar. It says, חכמי אומות העולם יודעים את כל האסטרולוגיה, כל כוכבי מזלות, they know all of it, right? If you learn astrology, there's a lot of Torah there. There's a lot of information there. Which sign is which, and you can have tons of different things, and moon and sun, and like you could be in Aquarius, but you can have Taurus, and you can have all these things happening. There's a lot of Torah there by the star signs. Yes, it's true.
Wait, but did Jews go by the English birth date star sign or the Hebrew birth
We
date?
go by Hebrew. Okay?
I mean, to me it's the same.
So why is it the same?
Because
Mazal, you're saying.
yeah, as in like I'm a Virgo and I'm Yutta Elul, which is also a Virgo.
Right.
Like it doesn't change.
Right.
But then, okay.
Where your Hebrew birthday is, that's where your father was. Okay, that's your star sign. Okay, So he says like this. You have to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me wrap up for a second for you guys. Okay, he says like this. He says that the Zohar says like this. He says it's a no-brainer that they have all of the stars and they know how each one works and they know how all of that works. That's not for the Jewish people. Cool, that's cool. But we have all that in the Torah. It was given all to us in the Torah. What we have control over is we can manipulate the stars. The Jewish people know how to. They have power. They control you. If you manipulate it, it doesn't control you. Now you're controlling it. The Jewish people are given the code of how to control the stars. How to control the stars, how not to have the stars be sholet on us, but how to be able to flip the mazal. Okay? לפי הזוהר.
But you're not, I thought we're not allowed to.
To what? To learn Zohar? We're good, you're good. I got you, you're good. Okay? Sefer HaYetzirah. Sefer HaYetzirah says that, we're going to explain what he's talking about in a second. Sefer HaYetzirah says, Shvat. The Shvat was created with 2 letters. Now if you understand that in order to be able to control the mazal, I can control my mazal. I can control my mazal. Meaning that the mazal doesn't control me. If in my mazel, which I am Aquarius happens to be, so in my mazel I have a thing with food, let's say. I'm like, listen, I'm stuck, alright? It's in my mazel, like it's controlling me, like it tells me to eat it, and I eat it, because it's like I'm controlled. What? That's what it says, the mazal Israel is sleep. Okay, we're all under the same thing. But I happen to be double on that, okay? So I happen to be double on that, and all my life before I was religious, I was very overweight. Very, very overweight before I became from. And now, the second I started learning about kosher, I realized that my whole kitchen wasn't kosher and that I couldn't eat anything at home, so I immediately stopped eating and I had cereal all the time. So I ate cereal and apples and tomatoes, I don't remember, something like that. Just like, I didn't know if the cucumbers were kosher, I didn't want to ask, I was embarrassed, so I just stopped eating fully. I just had cereal and things. So I lost 20 pounds. And I found my body. Oh, there you are. I was very, very, very overweight. So I had a thing with food. I always loved food. I was always looking for. My mother still makes fun. She's like, used to call me and be like, "Do not buy the low-fat ice cream. Not the low-fat, the fat." All right. So the thing is that. So the thing is that how am I able to manipulate it if it's such an inborn thing for me? Everyone, who else is here is Aquarius? Anyone else? No one? Okay, we're in the age of Aquarius, so you're all Aquarius, my friends. Okay, which means that our ability right now is to be able to lishlot al mazal, to change whatever's even meant to come into my life and whatever's even a part of my character, my personality. I'm able to change that. How am I able to change that? And listen to this. This is how I'm able to change that. When we do this, which is to get together and learn Torah, when a person is moshech el etzmo et mochin, the moach of the Torah, okay, meaning the chachma Torah, we're just learning, sitting and learning Torah, just sitting and learning Torah. הוא מושך אל עצמו את הכוח להפוך את הדין לרחמים, את הכישלון לניצחון, את המר למתוק ואת החושך אל האור. And the reason that he gave so many different examples, so many different adjectives, he says, the thing is by the fact that we have access to Torah, by the fact that we're Jews, and we have access to Torah, real access to Torah, meaning we can learn it. Goyim can also learn Torah, but their Torah doesn't access them in the same way. When we learn Torah, we connect to the energy of mochin Torah, moach shel Torah. What happens when we connect to the moach Torah? We moshech it. We moshech Torah into our being, into our psyche, into our energy, and that experience alone, just learning Torah and using our Torah to live our lives, that in and of itself changes, ofech, the person's mazal from din lerachamim. You're a person that's in mazal edli. They're very selfish. They're very selfish people. Okay? Meaning there's a lot of beef over here with this Dli thing. Okay? Lots in this Aquarius sign. And every single one of us has a sign that has pros and cons. What we're trying to understand here is that, I get it. So what it's telling us here is, there's Mazal Sholet. It's like a beam. Sholet. But once I go like this, it's not Sholet on me anymore. You get it? How do I go like this? When I learn Torah, אני משתחררת, I get free from the shlita of the kochav. That's what happens. I get free from the shlita of the kochav. So it could be very, and it's only going to be for good. It's only going to be for good. You're not going to lose the good parts of you that are mushpah from the mazal. You're only going to detach yourself from the necessary connection to that part of your mazel. Okay? Shvat. Shvat, he says like this. He says, Shvat is made from 2 letters, Bet v'tzadi. Okay? Where he gets this from, where the Zohar gets this from, it's deep. It's every single month has a letter attached to it. Every single letter has an energy to it from the 26 letters, from the 22 letters of the Torah. Okay? Every single letter has an energy to it, and that energy is mashpia. It's almost like there's rays coming out. It's mashpia in the month. So Bet and Tzadi for the month of Shvat. And after this you can go. Bet is Kochav Shabtai. It's a sign. It's a star. It's called Kochav Shabtai, the star of Shabtai. And Shabtai is the Kochav of Chochma Yediah, which is Chochma is knowledge. Yediah is knowing. They have a thirst. They have a hunger. The month, the energy is a hunger for connection, for growth, for understanding, for figuring things out, for getting answers, for moving forward, for jumping. Next. I want the next. That's the energy that we're in right now. It's also an energy of bayot. Shvat has the energy of bayot. There's the energy of issues. There's issues.
Especially in Shvat.
Shvat. Yes. Okay? And tzadi, the energy of tzadi, what is it? Tzaddik. Tzaddik, which means the energy of the month of Shvat is a very spiritual energy. It's a very spiritual energy. People that are Shvaters are spiritual people. They need spirituality like water and air. They can't breathe without it. They need it. It's part of what they need. Okay? Even if they're involved with other things, they need spirituality. They need to be able to have long conversations with people. They need to be able to connect. They need those things because that's part of their essence. So tzaddik, the energy of the month, is one of spirituality. One of one of I want to get close to God. One of I want to work on myself. One of I'm so tired of this addiction. I'm so tired of this habit. I'm so tired of this relationship. I'm out. Like that. Sfirat Yisod. Sfirat Yisod is the sfira that stands for sexual desires, impulses. Yisod. Yisod that's what Yosef is. Yosef a tzaddik. Why is Yosef a tzaddik? Because he was sholet on his Yisod. He was sholet on his sexual impulse, right? With Eshet Potifar. But she was all over him and he was sholet, he was in control of his sexual urges. This month is a month of control over sexual urges. It's much easier to control our sexual urges this month, meaning when I control sexuality, it comes out in a different way. It's not like I close it in and that's it, I have to wait for my husband. When people close their sexuality because it's not the right time for it, or because they haven't found the right person for it, or because they're not married, or whatever the reason is, what happens is that sexuality becomes fire, becomes energy for other things in their life. If they let it go in areas that are impure and not allowed, meaning they mess with the energies. When I say not allowed, when I say nevera, an nevera is almost like static. It's spiritual static. It's friction. Okay? It's not hurting anyone else besides for my path, my involvement. Okay? It's just static for me. What happened? That's what it does. It sets me back. Whenever, right? So that's the idea of this month. The idea of this month is there's a lot of sexual purity during this month. Okay? The energy is sexual purity. Not giving away your sexuality to anything or to anyone for free or just to feel, because you understand that holding on to your sexual purity is going to eventually allow you, when you do use it, it's going to be in a whole different level, in a whole different plane, in a whole different energetic field than it would be otherwise. Okay? And also what comes out from you, thank you so much, what comes out from you when you hold on to your sexuality is energy in other ways. Creativity, connection, doing, actual physical energy you have more of. Okay? Okay. So that was, do you need to go? Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming with her.
Thank you. So nice. No?
Thanks. What's your name?
Yeah. Julia, try this. I was at the wedding there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys.
Amen. I was thirsty for like 3 hours.
Another one?
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Okay. Anyone have any questions so far? The energy.
What was the last sentence?
The last sentence we said was tzaddik, that is spiritual purity, right? Sexual purity. Sexual purity means sexuality is an energy when you let it out in different areas. So it depends on where you let it out. If you let it out in a way that's going to create friction for you, meaning in a place where it's just to experience the actual feeling of it, but it's not really for connection and love. Thank you, mommy. Thank you. I did score. And I know. Sorry. Thank you. Right? So when you don't use it there, then it'll come out in another place, in another way.
So that one meaning about that said like it's gonna be like fire in other areas, like so
Positive.
in a positive way.
Yes.
Like energy.
Energy. Sure. Okay. So then we're going to also say we know that every one of the 4 elements, right? We have water, fire, earth, and wind, right? So all the elements. So every month has attached a letter. Okay. Every month has attached a mazal. The mazal over here is dli. Okay. Dli is actual bucket. Okay. Koach HaMeshicha, Koach HaShiva. That's mazal of dli that we want to receive. Now we have to understand. According to the Zohar, according to so many different sources, okay, lots and lots of different sources. Right now we are in the age of Aquarius. It's called Idan Hadli, age of Aquarius. Idan Hadli. We're all in the age of Aquarius. Klal Yisrael's mazel is Dli, meaning we're all vibrating on this vibration. We're all vibrating on this energy. Each one is a little different based on their tzirufei shemot and all the other things that are connected to each person's soul. Okay, but we're all in this connection of, like it says, like I was listening to this thing today, and he was saying how people that are Aquariuses can love the entire world and connect to like so many people, and have no one and nothing intimately for themselves. Very much, because they have this thing with the world, and they also have this thing with isolation in themselves. And he was explaining how we're all in that mode today. The world has shifted, moved into an age of Aquarius, where all of us are like, we want to be connected, but then we kind of like move back to our space. Okay? We want to feel that sense of community and friendship and unity and marriage or whatever it is, but then we always need back. We need to go back to our space. We need our space. Okay? And he says that that's how we are right now. The energy of the world is right now. That's why everything is much more virtual today. Okay? I wonder if Corona came as a result of that. Right? Because everything is born as a result of something. And the fact that we're isolating and quarantine and non-touching and social distancing and all these things are all symbolic of separation. The opposite of Achdut Hashem, of Mashiach. Right? It's exactly the opposite of what it's going to be like. The age that we're going to go into. Okay? So we have the mazel, which is Gli. We have the Shevet. The Shevet is Asher. Asher is all about the pasuk. I forgot the pasuk of Asher. When Asher was born, the pasuk was like a shefa, lots, plenty, abundance. Okay, that's Asher. That's this month as well. Okay. Then the letters is Bet and Tzadi, like we said. Those are the main mashpiyim on the month. Those are the main sources of energy. It's like 2 projectors on the month. Bet, remember what we said bet to be? Chokhmah, Yediyah, good conversations, good talking, learning, inquisitive. Chokhmah, I want to gain knowledge, I want to know things, I want to move forward. Okay? Bet, Kochav Shabtai, okay? And Bayot, issues. Okay? Coming up, issues coming up, your issues with other people, your issues with yourself. Issues. Bayot. And Tzadi, we said, purity. Lots of purity. Spirituality. I'm thirsty. I want more. I'm thirsty. I came from Tevet Tevet is all about Laila. Tevet is all about darkness. Tevet is all about, the Tevet is a heavy, heavy, heavy month. Saraba Tevet, right, we have there. And we move into a month of up, not down, up. Okay? And that's the tzaddik, and then we have the sexual purity there, okay, that we were talking about. And let me see if I missed anything else with the tzaddik. Shefa sheyotzeh l'poal. Shefa sheyotzeh l'poal. There's a constant moving into a fruition, a budding. And then there's the Tu B'Shvat. The Tu B'Shvat is the highlight, the middle of the month, when the moon is the most round. Okay, Tu B'Shvat is the day that is very, very sugal for, like we said before, connections, any kind of connections. You're looking for an apartment, you're looking for a new car, you're looking for a man, you're looking for a job, whatever it is. Tu B'Shvat is a very big day for that. Okay, and all the seder should what's it called? Tarot.
Good in what way?
Yeah.
Like to pray for it or to like look,
Close
deals in
the energy that you're in right now.
So what does that mean?
And the time, azman, that you're in right now, it's almost like someone when someone's fertile.
Was it fertile?
פוריה. נכון? אישה שפוריה versus a person that's not פוריה. נכון? אישה שלא פוריה, a woman that's not fertile, she can try, and then she can get pregnant. A person that's פוריה,
So you need to do an act for it to get it?
בדיוק.
Okay.
You need to, first of all, the fact that you're just aware of it. Now that you just heard this information, you just heard it, it's in your subconscious already, so you're going to start seeing it.
But you said Tu B'Shvat.
Yes.
So this energy is particular on Tu B'Shvat. So I don't know if that's what you were asking, but like that's what I was asking. What are you doing on Tu B'Shvat to like? You've got to go on a date on Tu B'Shvat, or you've got to go to a shadchan, or you've got to go,
Yeah,
you've got to go to the car sales yard, or you've got to do the action connected to that thing. Do you know what I mean? Or is it, more like just Shvat on the time, or like, not Shvat, Tu B'Shvat.
So Tu B'Shvat, do the thing of Tu B'Shvat, which is the
fruit.
Right, just sort of.
the seder, the Arizal has a whole seder. That to do with all the tikkunim that happen from the perot. Perot symbolize your actions in this world, your children in this world. They symbolize a lot of those things. Okay, there's a lot of tikkunim that have to do with Tu B'Shvat. The rest of the month of Shvat, you're in the month of growth. You're in the month of budding.
Plant the seeds, do the thing.
Planting the seeds means, planting the seeds is praying, learning Torah.
So learning Torah, what does that mean? Like Shobet Torah.
מה שבא לך. הלכה, משנה, סדרה, פרשה, גמרא, מה שבא לך, אפילו זוהר.
זה אני צריכה לדעת, אני understand.
או מוזיקה.
The element of this month is the element of air. It's the element of air, expansiveness. People that are bnei mazal dli, people that are in this month, and in general, all of us, the expansiveness, the wanting to expand, the need to expand, the need to grow, the wanting to succeed, the wanting to get to the next place. Okay, the expansiveness, the need for space, the need for to have your own time. Okay, that's this month as well. Okay, let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Yes. One more thing, and then we're gonna end. He says like this. He says the Arizal says, the Arizal in Parshas Vayikra, it says, "Hamar yamerenu v'yehu." Okay. He says over there. He brings down a whole cheshuv how this is the pasuk of Gli. This is the pasuk of this month. Hamar yamerenu v'yehu, which means the bitter yamarenu, which la'amir means to conversion. Convert. Thank you. Hamar Yamarenu. The energy of this month is to be able to turn bitter to convert it into the Yamarenu V'yehu, whatever it is that you convert it into. Meaning the energy that we have right now is the energy of conversion. Listen to this. Gula miyuchedet shel Am Yisrael, shel mazal li, להפוך את הרע לטוב. Koach hamara, conversion. Okay? He says. Over here, no, I did this already. Yeah, he says he says over here, he says, "Gula miyuchat shel Am Yisrael le'afoch et hara latov koach hamara." That is the koach of this month of Shvat, the koach of conversion, to be able to convert the things that you are not doing well with in your life. This is the month to be able to convert them. Le'afoch otam. And remember how to do that? You do that by learning Torah.
But also by doing the things, no?
Which things?
Whatever it is, you want to buy a car. Oh, I'm just going to learn Torah. Like, no?
Meaning you're meant to create vessels?
Well, you said to convert.
Learn Torah
the things that you want to do in your life, the things you want to achieve, the things you want to get. I took a car, you took a car, I took the car. But like, it doesn't seem so connected.
What's not connected?
Like, you want to convert the things in your life that you've been struggling with, that you've been thinking about, that
You do, yes.
Right. So what are they? A bunch of random topics. Your kids, your husband, your not husband, your eating, your whatever. But you just said, what do? Learn Torah. I'm like, Mahakesher.
Yeah, obviously you have to also do the action. It's not just gonna like you come out from learning Torah and Hashem's like, here you go, good girl. Like you have to physically do something.
That's what
everything is a physical. Anything in the spiritual has to be like you have to physically do something.
Right. So there's the question.
Yes, amazing question. Does anyone have an answer?
Well, combination of both.
Because learning Torah builds you in a different way. It builds you mentally, it builds you spiritually. So the things that you do want will come in. Because we're all trying to get to our higher self, right? So what does learning Torah do? It helps you get to your higher self. And then you bring down the Shvat.
What did we say? We said the star has an energy on you. Okay? The star controls you. You either control it or it controls you. When I learn Torah, okay, what happens to my soul, what happens to me, is that I am now no longer, when I say learn Torah, I don't just mean like, okay, Torah Tiva Moshe yeah, next I learn Torah. That's not what I mean. I mean, to learn Torah means to come to these things, lo tikasef, lo tikoach, to come out, to come sit, to come learn God's Torah. That's what it means. To sit and learn God's Torah. After you leave here, you're going to have things splashing around in your head. Now, if you're smart, what are you going to do? If you're smart, you're going to be like, I want to lock it in. And what am I going to do to lock this in? I understand that this is the energy that I'm in. I'm walking on very fertile land, okay, during these days of Shvat. I'm working on very, very fertile land. Now, what in my life do I want to see convert? What do I want to see convert in my life? My attitude, my approach, my motivation, my energy. What do I want to see converting in my life to higher? I want to up it. I want to get to the next level with it. Okay? I want to change. I don't want to be like, oh, every day is the same, like we just said in the beginning. Right? In order to do that, I have to understand that I'm locked under a certain mazel. I'm locked under a certain energy. The energy that I'm locked in right now is also an energy of issues. It's also an energy of Shvat also has an energy of being selfish, of needing my own space all the time, of needing my own stuff all the time. There's all that energy there as well. So I understand that being that I'm locked into this mazel, if I'm able to now not have the hashpah of the mazel, not have the mazel be mashpia on me in that way, I can choose, instead of that mazel, I can choose the koach hamara. The koach hamara is in the same area that all these other things are floating around. The air, the power of expansiveness, all the other things that we said, the gli, the koach hashiva, the koach of tzmicha, of gdila, of growth, of budding, of blossoming. All those energies are floating around in the air right now also, but also other energies are floating around in the air. Now the question for me is, how do I get to use all these good energies? How do I make them work for me? So that's what the Zohar is telling us. You make them work for you when you understand that if you change yourself, how do you change yourself? Only by learning Torah. You learn Torah, all of a sudden your speech changes. All of a sudden your choices change. All of a sudden your decisions change. All of a sudden instead of going partying in Tel Aviv tonight, you're coming to Jerry's place and eating a piece of cheesecake or apple cake and listening to a whole thing on stars and the sun and the moon and whatever. Why? All of a sudden you're changing, your decisions change, your choices change, you change. Ashpa lo sholet. The ashpa'ah of the thing that you would normally think has to be sholet on you is not sholet on you. is not sholet on you. Now, what is then sholet on you? What is then taking control over you? All the positive things that we said. The sexual purity, the ability to be able to control, to move, to manipulate the star, as opposed to the star manipulating me. All the energies that we said over here, that with the chokhmah and the wanting to expand and to learn and all that growth, that all happens here in this time. When I learn, as a Jew, when I connect my soul to Torah, what I do is that I change. When I change, the mazal is no longer sholetai. When I change, when I normally have a knee-jerk reaction to curse, and I work, I don't curse anymore. Now I don't curse anymore. Let's say I don't curse anymore at all, right? I changed. I moved from point A to point B. Under point B, there's no more mazal sholet because you've already changed that aspect of your being. It's not all of your being, it's that aspect of your being. I always look at it like fortune cookies. Fortune cookies. We have a ton of fortune cookies in our nefesh, and the more you open up, you're done over there. You're done in those areas. You're good in those areas. So now you change. You worked on not cursing anymore. You worked on giving tzedakah even though it's hard for you, right? You worked on certain things you worked on coming out to class once a week or twice a week or learning or whatever it is. You worked on your dibur. You worked on your lashon hara. What happens to you is that you opened up those cookies, and that's no longer a thing for you unless you start doing it again, unless you start cursing again, unless you start bringing that back into your life, and then they become an issue again. But then the mazel is not sholet on that anymore because you changed that. You changed it. That's why the whole concept of Hanukkah is so amazing, because the mazal wasn't sholet on them. And Purim, the mazal wasn't sholet on them. Why wasn't it sholet on them? Even though they were all supposed to, the din in Shemaim was, they were all supposed to die. Why wasn't it sholet on them? Because they changed. They changed themselves. They stopped doing the wrong thing. They started doing good by themselves. They started doing good for themselves. They started doing tshuva. They started loving each other. They started doing acts of kindness. They changed. They stopped. And they started. They changed. And mazal sholet. It says in the Zohar all over the place. At Purim, that's coming up next month. It was supposed to be 2 months. 2 months. Yeah. It's coming up in 2 months, right? It was supposed to be Yom of Valut Shanam Yisrael. That's it. It was supposed to be a day that it was supposed to be a massacre on the Jewish people in Shemaim. There was a din in Shemaim because they went to the party. The party of Achashverosh. Ken. Because of what they did there. They did a lot of things in there. A lot of bad things over there. There were so many dinim for them in Shemaim, there was no way out. That's why he was able to take the ring and sign the thing. That's why he was able to do any of that. Because it was already written in Shemaim. And the way their whole approach to it, when Mordechai did it, and how they took it, and they kiblu to Torah, and they chose God, and they put on sackcloth, and they fasted, and they did all those things. They changed their ways. Now the mazal is not sholet. So in our personal lives, just to end off and to sum up here for a second, in our personal lives, en mazal. Okay? En mazal. Okay? Start off knowing that in any moment you could be above the mazal. It depends on the decision that you're going to make right now, the choice in your mind that you're going to make right now. How are you going to look at the scenario right now? If normally you're a very judgmental person, judge the situation, judge people, judge everything, judge. If you're a very judgmental person, and in this moment you looked at her and you said, "I am not judging. I'm going to see the nekuda tova. I'm going to find the good in her. I'm going to make bidala kavschus her. I'm not. I'm going against my grain, but I'm such a judgy person. Like, it's obvious that that's what she did. Like, why am I making up a story? No, I went against my grain. I went against my fiber. Now I will move into a place where a certain amount of mazel is not going to be sholet on me anymore. I'm above it. I'm above my mazel, meaning I can get much further in my life. I'm not dictated by, this is your mazel, this is the day you were born on, this is the Monday you were born on, this is how far you can go, this is the far, mazal show, right? I don't think you're a mazal show, I think you're telling me, but whatever. Mazal show, which is an ox, right? Oh my God, I would never want to be a mazal show. It's a harsh mazel to be under.
What's worse? Why? What does it mean?
A show, they're extremely stubborn. They're very, May.
לא May, before.
No, it's
May.
April, May. The end of April, May.
And what is it in Hebrew?
Yeah. אם אנחנו הולכים לפי יהודי זה לא May.
Okay. and they're very, very stubborn. They're people that they obsess over Gashmi. They really like Gashmi. They have a very hard time letting go of Gashmi. Meaning there's a lot of things in their character that are hard to deal with, right?
But they're so good stuff.
They have good things, of course. Afik Muslim is good and bad, right? But there's a lot of good things there. You're not. I'm telling you, you're not.
I mean, we didn't really have a choice. We didn't say to Hashem, come on, Hashem, come down now, and it's like, yeah, you go. And we didn't. You're born, and that's it.
Exactly. So just because I'm born with a tendency to eat, now I'm going to be obese my whole life?
No,
that's what we're learning.
The opposite way, like all the rest of the Jewish girls.
No. What do? You have to understand that if you are a person that connects to something that is against your grain. I stopped eating at home because it wasn't kosher. It was against my grain. All right? It was against my grain. I love my mom's food, and I really haven't enjoyed my mother's food for many, 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 many years after that because I couldn't. Right? I went against my grain. I did what was right to do, not what I wanted to do. And what happened over there? My situation with food stopped. I stopped. I had eating disorders, and I liked to eat. I had all this stuff with food. It stopped. It's no longer because it's my mazel, so now I'm stuck here. So now I'm either going to be like really skinny or really fat. No, it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, but do you not think that, like, forget mazel, I think a lot of things are also environmental. Like, we learn these things as we grow up. Like, if you grow up in a house where, like, food is like, food, I'm sad, I'm going to eat loads of chocolate, I'm happy, I'm going to eat loads of chocolate, then your brain is empty. Yeah, mazal is definitely a thing, but a lot about us as humans, as adults, and our patterns and our habits are environmental.
Right.
So it's not just your mazal, it's also, this is all I've ever known, this is what's programmed into my brain.
Well, you could have different siblings growing up in the same house, and one is mazal gli, and he's all about the food, and one is like,
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Meaning, you come out based on your showish. And your showish is very much your star. Your star, your element.
Yeah, but there's people with eating disorders that are not all mazal does. There's always other aspects to what goes into that,
Of course. But we're talking about specifically this mazel. And this mazel, there is a thing with food.
Right.
There is a thing with food. Meaning you can have issues with food during this. Okay? So, I mean, Shvat is going to be a very...
I'm ready to meet my husband. Now I'm going to leave him. I'm joking. He's coming.
Good. Why? Your husband's food? He's the caterer.
No.
Oh, Jerry!
No, because you said on Tu B'Shvat, that's when what you want is going to come. Yeah. So I'm joking that now I'm going to leave and I'm ready to meet my husband. Doesn't matter.
Good. Keep that in mind.
Should I
Keep
talk
that
to her
there.
outside?
No, we were just talking about when you're a caterer.
Who's a caterer? I'm confused.
He used to be a caterer. Yeah, he's still a caterer. Are you doing anything on Tisha B'Av? Tu B'Shvat?
Tisha B'Av, I usually do something. Tu B'Shvat, I'm not sure yet.
Alright, I think you're
After party.
Okay. Well then, so, just gonna shut up in my head, I'm just gonna shut up.
No.
Okay.
You don't know me, so.
I don't know you.
But no one knows.
Can we do something in Tisha?
We could do something on Tu B'Shvat.
Next week.
Let's do it.
Tu B'Shvat next week.
Sunday night.
Still out of
Wednesday?
touch with the world.
It's on Sunday.
Tu B'Shvat is on Sunday.
It's on Sunday.
Next week, I don't know when.
Wait, like the Sunday coming?
I don't.
Like in a few, like what? In like
this
5
Sunday.
days?
No, I'll
Yeah.
find out exactly.
Oh, that means I've got
Today
some
is,
range on it.
today's Yud Shvat.
So in 5 days. I'm very out of it.
In 5 days.
Okay, more
You come back to the world and you're like, what? There's a real world out there.
Yeah, why you can't go?
I flew to England in December for a week and got corona. I got stuck there for 3 weeks. Came back and then I came out and I was like,
Next Monday.
people are still doing things.
I'm 2 months after and I'm still like,
Yeah, and I was just kind of, I was in shock.
right.
Where are you from, England?
Manchester.
I used to be in Gateshead, but I found
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
כן, זה נשמע.
I grew up secular.